In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. He is one of the best players on the Heat team, and we definitely need to break down his jump shot so that we can all become better shooters in basketball. Let's get down and let's check out how Jimmy Butler is able to shoot the basketball. Okay, so in this first clip, we have him driving towards the basket, which he does quite a bit. He doesn't usually settle for open, or not necessarily open, but somewhat contested three-point shots. He tends to take a lot of mid-range shots and attack the rim. So that is what he is doing here. Now let's check out what he does on this step back. He gathers the ball in front of his hips, and then he brings it up to his set point. When he brings it up from his set point, what we are looking at is how much movement does he actually have in his body that could hinder his ability to be consistent. And I really like to look at the elbow. Now, when he brings the elbow up, he actually doesn't bend it all that much. He brings the ball up the middle of his body up to his set point, which tends to be above his right eye. But now, let's look at his feet. Let's look at how his feet are pointing and also how he is on his feet. Number one, he is on the toes of his feet. That's going to be really loading those calf muscles, which are the fast twitch muscles in your leg. Those are the muscles that are going to help you explode up into your shot much faster so that you can have a faster release. From there, we can also see that his feet are slightly off from the rim, same as his knees. Also, his hips, his left hip is slightly back away from his right, so he's not necessarily square towards the rim, but his shoulders are actually straightened out a bit more. So he's got this left hip thing that's sort of pushing his shot, or would push his shot, towards the left side. However, as we can see, when he starts going up for his shot, he does square very nicely towards the rim, even though his shoulders are a bit off, and same as his hips are also slightly off. We see that his shoulder is in line with his elbow facing the rim. This is a very important factor. This, even though this counts for a lot of your accuracy, this is even more. And what we have here is an elbow that is, and shoulder that is pointing towards the rim. And we also see from other angles that the ball is underneath of, above the elbow. So basically, from shoulder to elbow really tells the ball, or makes the ball go either left or right. From there, if the ball is on the right side of the elbow, you're going to be seeing the ball go left. If you then have the ball on the right side of the elbow, that would then be having the ball go out towards the right side. Now, some players are not able to keep that elbow underneath that ball with a squared up shoulders. This is why we see a lot of players who, if they have too much muscle or too much fat or whatever it may be underneath their armpit area, or if their chest is too tight, Jimmy Butler is a very, very strong player, which is most likely why he is unable to bring that left shoulder forward to square up to the rim, and because of that, he needs to shoot on an angle. Now, everyone does shoot differently, and because he's able to compensate for his inability to get square by turning his body sideways while keeping his arms straight towards the basket, that's going to be very beneficial for him, but also could be beneficial for yourself if you are unable to square your body up towards the rim. Now, when he goes up from his catch up to the set point, he brings the ball up the middle, which means that he is keeping his elbow bent the same angle all the way up. Now, some players will shoot with a 90-degree elbow. Other players will shoot with a 45. If you shoot with a 90, like I've mentioned a few times before, it's going to be a faster release, but this 45-degree angle is going to allow him to have more power on his shot, so he could actually shoot from further away. When he goes up to release that ball, we notice that he does not have a thumb flick at all. And then we notice that this power transfer from hips all the way up to shoulders and then later on to elbow, that's a very good power transfer. He's able to get that power off of his feet all the way up to the ball. He finishes with his elbow above his eyes, which is going to give him good arc on the shot. And then when he flicks, we notice that he has a strong flick like Michael Jordan. Now there's a strong flick and a soft flick. A soft flick would be something like Steph Curry. The difference is not really a massive thing that would affect your shot, but basically what this would do for you is you could get more rotation on the ball, which then means that when the ball hits the rim, if it does hit the rim, it's going to hit it softer, so then it bounces around a few times. On set shots, however, we do notice that when he lines up for his shot, his shoulders are in line with his knees down to his toes. That's going to give him a lot of power. So don't be surprised if later on in his career, he really starts stretching out his game well past the three-point line. Because with this Z formation, plus the fact that he shoots with a close to 45-degree angle on his elbow, he could potentially shoot from very far distances away. He also leans slightly forward from the ground, which will give him more power once again. You normally want to shoot going straight up because that's going to give you more balance on your shot. However, we do see Jimmy Butler jumping slightly forward on his shot, which does give him more range, but a possibly more inconsistent shot. So that's why we always hear the ESPN analysts say, oh, he doesn't have a consistent shot. Maybe if he was to not jump forward on his shot, but jump straight up, he would have a more consistent shot. And he doesn't have to worry about the power that's needed to be able to jump straight up, because as we can see from his shoulders being in line with his toes, but also the 45-degree angle on the elbow, he should definitely have enough strength to be able to jump straight up. We also notice, or at least I also notice, when he goes into a set shot, either after a screen or off of just his dribble, he tends to hop into his shot. Now, a lot of players do tend to do this, as we can see again, still in line with his knees and toes. Actually, in this shot, his knees are slightly more forward, but still fairly in line. But we do see him hop into a lot of shots. He doesn't usually go 1-2 into his set shot. He hops into it, very similar to a Michael Jordan. And why would this be beneficial? Well, for one, it's actually a faster release. It's able to get you off that ground a lot faster. But also, it's going to give you more power on your shot, which then just adds on to my thoughts that he's going to be able to stretch this out a lot farther later on in his career. I hope that this video has helped you become a better three-point shooter, but also a better jump shooter in general. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.